Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I know people have wanted it, people have been interested, and this is my second episode of Tales from the Classroom. Now, for any newcomers here, this is a series that I wanted to do. My first episode, I'll probably link it down below or something, or I'll use this as a type of video response to it. But it is one of the best videos that I've gotten feedback on just because everybody loved it. Because at the end of the video, I ask, how do you like this video? If you think I should do more, please tell me. And everybody wanted a second episode. Everyone wanted. And I wanted this to be the second episode. And the reason why I waited so long is because I wanted to wait for the semester to be completely over. And I wanted to wait until it was completely 100% over, I had my grades in hand and all that. I wanted it to be completely done. I don't know, it was one of those things I wanted closure, I guess. And I got an A in the class, so I'm quite happy about that. Anyways, this is about my architecture class, and this is not just one story, it's going to be a series of stories, because this is how it is. If you're not in college, most of your classes I'll be straight up. You're going to go to your lecture, and it's going to be an old dude sitting up there talking. He might be writing on a whiteboard, he might be writing on a chalkboard, he might be reading off a PowerPoint, anything like that. But most of the time, you're just going to have a dude lecturing up there, talking, and you're going to have to take notes. Well, at least it's highly recommended that you take notes, and if you want to succeed, you really should. But anyways, architecture class. Now, first off, let me kind of paint a picture of him. He has a PhD, smart guy, chill guy as well, but his lectures were dry. They were really dry, so he had to interject his own humor in there. But it was an easy enough class. It was mainly picture-based. I kid you not, this is a college class. This was my second year of college. And he was just like, okay, class, so you should be reading this book, and really you should be paying more attention to the photos, if anything. And I remember I sat there scratching my head, and I asked my friend, I'm like, dude, we're in college. Did he seriously just say that we should be paying attention to the photos more than the actual text? Am I hearing that right? Do I need some Q-tips or what? But it was very true, and honestly, we didn't really use the books too much in the class, but it is what it is. Now, as for the actual guy, as I said, he's a chill guy. He throws his humor in, but I swear, there's two things about him. One, he sounds like Roger from American Dad. Roger is the alien from there. Just look up a clip from American Dad if you don't know what I'm talking about, and he sounds like the alien, I swear. And two, this guy is awkward. And he's awkward, he's the type of awkward where he doesn't realize it. He'll say something and everyone laughs, and he doesn't realize that people, what people are laughing about exactly. So with that, picture painted in your heads, let's go ahead and start this. So I have a list right here, right next to me that I've been typing up, off and on during the semester. Whenever he'd say something funny in class, I'd type it up, and here we go. So first off, when we were learning about ancient Egypt, we were learning about the Sphinx and all that, and at one point, there was a picture of a Sphinx with very huge breasts, and they were noticeable, but they were made out of stone. It was actually, no, it was on a, it wasn't even on, it was a Sphinx, but it was on a grave of some kind. And he spent a minute on this, and he had his laser pointer, and he was just circling and all that. But he's so as you can see right here, we have this Sphinx, and I can't tell if it's a guy or a girl. I honestly don't know, but there's some very large, noticeable breasts right here, as you can see. And he's circling them with his not his highlighter, his laser pointer. And we're all just laughing. This is an entire class of maybe 300 people. We're all just laughing about it. At one point, we're talking about a person named Abbot Suger. And Abbot Suger's last name is spelled like sugar, S-U-G-A-R. And when he was talking up there, he said this. He said, and blah, 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 we're talking about this. He's and this is Abbot Suger. Now, I know it looks like Abbot Sugar, but you should not say it like Abbott Sugar. It is Abbot Suger, and it is not a porn star's name. I kid you not, I don't know if he had this thing with porn, I really don't know, but it felt like he would try and mention it almost whenever he could. Even at one point, we were talking about, factors of a building you need to know, and he said the 3 things you need to know are firmness, structure, and delight. I believe those were the 3. I'm not sure about the second one. And after he said that, he said, firmness, structure, and delight. No, that is not the name of a cheap porn film. I can't make this up. I swear, I cannot make this up. This is actually happening. He would also say some other words, like he would put emphasis on them. I think one of the best parts where he was talking about this one artist, and let's say his name was Jason, all right? I remember the last name, but not the first name. But he was saying, he's just like, well, as you can see, we have some work by Jason Von Douche here. And as you can see, this has been done. Now, Jason Von Douche was also really well known, and he was putting so much emphasis on that. And like, you have it in this echoey auditorium, you have it over a mic, and everyone was busting out laughing because he just said Von Douche like that. It sounds like douche, But it was just booming, and it was echoing, probably like kind of how it is off my mic and into your speakers, out of your speakers right now. But everyone was laughing, everyone erupted in laughter with that, and he didn't realize what was so funny or what was awkward about it. He also said he would get emotional about some things, like, I know there was one, for our tests, half our tests literally, we had 50 question tests, half of them, it was a PowerPoint that he would show, and you had to ID a building. And by that, it's like they show a building, what type of building structure it is, or what's it called, or who made it, or what year was it made, something like that. And at one point, we were looking at buildings. I think this was all, he mentioned it all in the test, but when we were looking, we saw one, I don't remember what style of building it was, but he said, and I quote, "I'd like to shoot the guy who owns this house. Look at this, an aluminum door." And when he said that, like, everyone was just busting out laughing, and we had somebody in the front row. This was like the complete opposite side of the, Yeah, this was the complete opposite side of the auditorium, so I wasn't there. And this guy, I guess he looked kind of panicked when he said that. And then the teacher, he had to say, he's just like, no, I'm just joking. I really don't mean it. But, he also, when he ID'd on tests, I swear, he lectured during the test. It's like, we're sitting there, we're trying to get our test done as fast as possible. And like, one good example was, he was just like, okay, now out of these 5 houses, which one does not belong? And I'd actually like to say about this house, I did speak about it a little bit, but this is actually a house that I wanted to buy. However, I did not buy it because I would have had to move the house because the foundation on it was not stable. It would have cost a lot more money, excuse me, to put repairs into the house. And he went on for like a minute about it. And I remember there was this girl next to me. We kind of looked at each other. We're just like, really? Like, really? Is this guy lecturing? Is he lecturing during an exam? Is he seriously going to do this? And then after about a minute of ranting about how this house, he's just like, okay, well, I don't want to spend too much time on here, but he spent way too much time on the IDs. I think people complained on the first exam, because after that he didn't spend as much time. But on the first exam, half the exam is IDs, so you have to go at his pace, and he was going at a turtle's pace because he was lecturing and interjecting all these things in there. Final thing I want to say, I had one other thing written on here, but it's not that funny, but final thing, that Old Spice whistle? It's just like, people have it as a ringtone or something. I'm pretty sure it's an Old Spice whistle, but there's this whistle, and there were people who, it's like, it was annoying because every day I never figured out who had it, but every day there was one person who, they would get a text message, and they never silenced their phone before class. They never did. But they'd get a text, and it would be that whistle. And near the end of the semester, he thought it was somebody really whistling. And he was just like, he stopped in the middle of class. He's like, okay, guys, seriously, with the whistling, it is not needed. I hear it every single day. I don't know why people are whistling. I don't know why it's funny, but it's not needed, okay? So please stop whistling. In the middle of all that, somebody legitimately whistled. Like, and he just started looking around the room. He, like, locked eyes with everyone. Like, he's just like, come at me, bro. It was one of those moments. About a minute of silence in a big auditorium full of a few hundred people. very eerie. And then he continued with his lecture. One more thing I thought of. There were people behind me. This was kind of annoying. There were people behind me that were always talking, and it was annoying because they were talking about stuff I was interested in. They were talking about video games and computers, stuff I know. So I didn't really talk to them. I talked to them a few times, but I was just like, dude, I'm paying attention, and you guys aren't helping with this at all. But there was one part where they were talking, and like 5 minutes into class, they're still talking, and he comes over. I'm on the opposite side of the auditorium. He didn't blame me, but he came over, and he's like, will you all just shut up? Please, I can't hear myself think sometimes. If you're going to talk, then please just go outside, leave the class, but if you could all just shut up, that would be great. And my friend and I, we're just sitting there, just trying not to laugh. We are biting our lips, trying not to laugh. And the people behind me were just so embarrassed, but that's it. So those are a bunch of stories from my architecture class. But anyways, this is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thank you for watching, everyone, and more commentaries coming soon.
Started from the trap, now I rap.